Hello, Form 1s. Today, in our theory lesson, we want to look at what we call tie. What's a tie in music, and what does it do? Now, I want you to observe my explanation on what a tie is. If there's space, we're going to talk about also the dots. We do see the ties. What is this tie anyway? Now, in your book, if you go to page, if you die with me here, if you go to page 12, you see it's talking about a tie. Now, in order to amplify what it means is that a tie is actually a line, a curved line joining two or more notes. For example, if I have a quarter note here and another quarter note here, I can tie these two notes by putting a curved line like this. All right? This curved line is called a tie. It's called a tie. In some other books, they call it a bind. You know, binding, putting things together. All right? Sometimes the notes can look upside down, like P's. Remember, in music, we won't have P's and D's. And this is the correct way. And so if the notes, for example, in this case, I've got two quarter notes, the correct way is to put a tie on top. This is a tie. It looks like this when the notes are upside down. Looks like this when the notes are upright. Actually, a tie can also involve even more notes like this. All right? That's what a tie is. Okay? I think it will be safer for us to just concentrate on what a tie is. Okay? In this book, on page 12 of your theory booklet, you will see various examples. There are do's and don'ts. Look at this example here. Okay? When the notes are upside down like this, we normally put a note, a tie on top. But when it's this is wrong. Okay? This, when the notes look upright, we put a tie below. The other way is wrong. In the exercise which I want you to do here, just exercise number 1 here, you see an example given here. Look at this example here of this rhythm or a tune. It's in 2/4 time, okay, meaning that in each bar we have 2 quarter notes. But look at this tie that you can see here. This quarter note is tied to an 8th note. Now, in terms of time signature here, this quarter note is actually 1 beat, okay? And this one is half of this, and that's why here we have 1.5 beats. 1 stands for 1 quarter note, and then this 8th note is half of a quarter note. That's why we've got a half, okay? So together, you've got 1.5 beats. So in this simple example, which I've given you, I want you to do this exercise number 1. Do exercise number 1. A, we've done an example here, so do B, C, D, and so on up to the end. Just do this. I think in the other lesson, we'll do dots, because dots and ties are related. But maybe we can try. You see, when you see a dot like this, for example, what are dots? If you see a dot, if you have, let me show it here, where it can be very clear. Okay, maybe here. Okay, you have a dot, you have a note like this. Okay, and you see a dot in front here. This dot and this note, they are related. What is the relationship? This note you are seeing here is said to be a given note. The dot is actually part of this note. Therefore, the explanation, when you see a dot, a note and a dot, we say a dotted note. Now, this one, because it's a quarter note, we say it's a dotted quarter note. If you have a half note, we say a dotted half note. If you have a whole note, a dotted whole note. If you have an 8th note, it's a dotted 8th note like this. But what's the meaning when you see a dot? Now, when a dot is placed in front of a note, a dot takes half the value of the given note. The given note here, which is here, is a quarter note. So this dot is half of the quarter note. So the explanation mathematically would look like this. You have a quarter note plus the dot, which is half of this. If the dot is half of a quarter note, then the dot is equal to what? An 8th note. Mathematically, you can do this. But in music, we don't put a plus. We instead put a tie. Okay, so you've got a quarter note, tie it to an eighth note. Therefore, the plus sign here takes the place of a tie. This is what it means. So you find that a tie, which you've talked about, and the dots are related. This, and because of that explanation, I would also want you to attempt exercise number 1 on dots. Also on this page, I would like you to do work on ties, do another exercise on dots based on what I've explained. Just do this exercise. I think, yes. Let me see if you can try. In your books, you can do this. I'll still post this work on the dojo profile. Thank you.